Hey YouTube, this is Stardust Stoner, and finally it is time. So, I've been promising you guys a deck profile of this deck for a very long time. I finally got the cards, some of the cards in the mail. I did some testing with it, and then I feel like, wait, I need to get more cards for it, so I had to wait for those to come in. But all the stuff is in. I kind of found a good mixture. It's testing online a little bit. It does pretty well. So I actually kind of want to give you guys finally the deck profile, because I've been promised this for a while, because you guys see my community tabs, I posted that soon, so finally it is time now to do the deck profile for you guys. So we're going to do a deck profile on my second favorite deck. If you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of pendulums, and of course I love any pendulum deck. This is one of my favorites. I haven't messed with them in a very long time because I used to do pendulum magicians with Endymions way back in the day. That's back when I went to regionals back in 2019 before the pandemic. I actually had some Endymions mixed in with the pendulum magicians that I decided to take them out, and now I kind of want to build a pure Endymion type deck. So we have it here, and enough of me talking, and let's go straight into the deck. Also, if you guys are not subscribed, definitely subscribe so you guys can get more deck profiles like this. Probably after this video, I don't know when, but when I have time, probably going to do a test hand video. I like to do that with every new deck profile, so if you want to see that, make sure you click the subscribe button. We're at 155, so if you can help me reach my goal to 250, there might be something special coming on the way. So if you subscribe, that would definitely help, and I'll definitely appreciate it. Anyways, enough of that. Let's go into the deck. So of course, you saw him at the top. We have 3 of them. So he's your pretty much your boss monster deck. Also, he's the most card that has the most words out all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards out there. But once you get to know him, he's a pretty good card. So pretty much he's your main card to get on the battlefield. He can negate spells by actually returning a card with a spell counter on it back to your hand, and then he can negate the spells. Also, he can actually blow up cards in the scale depending on how much cards you have on spell counters. Know that he is a scale 8 and he's a level 7, so we can actually do our rank 7 plays. That's why I do have some rank 7s in here. But also, he's a 28 beat deck. He's a big boy, so he does a lot. But yeah, this is technically your boss monster of the deck. He pretty much lets you negate stuff. He also is a scale 8, so he's good if you need to put scale. And of course, his pendulum effect, if you pretty much, it's a board wiper. So really good card, plus he also looks completely awesome. Then we have our other scale 8 is Master of Endymion. This is our other scale 8. Pretty much he does the same, well, not the same, but he serves as a scale 8 for you, so when you pendulum summon, but also each time a spell card is activated, he gets a counter, and then with this, you can special summon a card from your pendulum zone and waste a card from your extra deck. So pretty much, you get him out, and let's say if your master got destroyed in your extra deck, you can bust them out and they both get counters. So this is a way to get your cards out of your extra deck, kind of like Oath Dragon. Instead of adding to your hand, you just bust them out, and you bust them. But mainly, he's going to be your scale 8. That's mostly going to be your pendulum zone. Or you can use them to link off to go into your link monsters. Next up, we do play Chronograph Sorcerer. He is a 6. We do have a couple of 6s, so we could do rank 6. But mainly what we use him for is to get counters on the board. Plus he's a scale if you need to. But mainly you activate him, pop him, special summon time, and then you can go into your link play. So pretty much it's that little combo there. And also since this deals with spell counters, since when you activate pendulum cards, it becomes spells. That is a counter, so you can activate a free counter and get a free body on the board. So then you can go to Beyond the Pendulum, Celine, whatever you need that Time Star for. Or if you want, you can also use them as a scale 8 too, if you need that scale. Next up, we have 2 Mythical Beasts Cerberus. This is one awesome card right here. Pretty much what the combo with him is that you activate him in scale, pop him, you search Jackal King, then you activate Jackal King, and the Jackal King special him out. And the best part about him is that if he has 4 spell counters on it, you can target a card on your opponent's control, banish it, so it gets rid of it, but he also gains the attack points of it too. So he becomes one beefy boy, and he can get rid of threats. He's a really good card, and it's an easy way to get him out, of course, with Jackal King. And speaking of Jackal King, that's our next card. This card's freaking awesome. I love this card so much. So, as I explained with the previous, this is a way to get Cerberus, but on its own, you can also use it, and it's a level 6, so you can do rank 6 plays. But mainly, we use it where you can take off 2 counters from it and negate a monster effect. Pretty much he's a monster negator. He just negates monsters. So pretty much you can set him up, get counters on it, so then if your opponent tries to activate New Brew, you can negate it. Or if your opponent just tries to like activate a monster effect to get more, you can negate it. So it's a really good card since we really don't play hand traps and pendulum decks. So it's a good card to stop your opponents from doing stuff you don't want them to do. Next up, we got 2 Reflection of Endymion. So this is our low scale, pretty much. This is the card pretty much you want to have in your scale to get counters on. But also, its effect is each time a spell card is active, you can remove 3 spells, special summon both this card from your pen zone and 1 monster from your hand. So this is pretty much if you have Master Endymion in your hand or any card you want to have in your hand, you move the counters, special summon this card, and special summon the card. Mainly, you're going to get either Jackal King on the battlefield, or if you want to get your Master, so then you can start negating stuff. But also, she serves as your low 2 pendulum scale, so then you can, pendulum summon. Next up, we got Magical Abductor. So this is a good card for actually searching cards to add to your hand. So let's say you don't have the right card you have, put her in your scale, then activate spell cards like crazy. Once she gets 3, you can remove 3, and then you can add a pendulum monster, any pendulum monster to your hand. Plus she is a scale 3, so you can actually use it to pendulum summon 2 via a scale 8, so you can get bust out monsters on the battlefield. But she's just a good card for searching. Sadly, she's the substitute. If Servant ever comes back to 3, probably take out her and put 3 Servants instead. Servant's a little more better card version of it. Speaking of Servant, we have Servant here. Sadly, Servant's only limited to 1. It used to be at 3 a long time ago. I missed it. But the main ability of Servant you use is, of course, it's your scale 2, the Pendulum Summon. But its ability is every time it gets a spell counter, you can remove 3 spell counters, special summon this card, and then you can special summon any Pendulum monster there from your deck that can get a spell counter. So you can get Endymion out, you can get Jackal King. Super awesome card. Sadly, I'm sad it's only at 1. Hopefully the day will come where she comes back to 3, and then we can do updated pendulums. Anyways, of course, since we're playing pendulums, any pendulum deck probably should run at least 1 Astrograph Sorcerer. This card works with one thing, it's a scale 1, so you can use it in your scale if you need to. But the best part is whenever your pendulum cards are destroyed or removed, you can just spec them out and then you can search that card. This is pretty much what the card is busted with Electromite, if we ever get Electromite back. But yes, good card in any pendulum deck. It has an Odd Eyes, my Pendulum Magician. Any deck that runs pendulum should at least run 1 Astrograph Sorcerer. Next up, of course, since we played a Chronograph, we have 1 Time Gazer, pretty much to get the body on the board. Can't really use it in the scale because it's not with Magician, so it won't work. So we're just using it as a fodder for Link summoning. Next up, we got our spells. We play 3 Spell Power of Mastery, so this is a really good search card. This searches any of your Endymion cards that you need, like Servant, or if you need Reflection, or you need Master himself. Note that for each pretty much graphs and masters you have in the graveyard, you can add additional spell counters on it. So this thing loads up your cards spell counters, so then you can use their abilities to, do stuff. And speaking of that, we have the old-fashioned card, Spell Power Graphs. This pretty much lets you, add an extra counter, plus it's a spell, so it gets 2 counters, and then you can add another graphs, but sadly you can't use it that turn. But yes, this is a good card just to build up, spell counters, so then you can do stuff with your cards. And next up, we have, since we are playing Spellcasters, we have 2 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. So pretty much your main goal is to have this thing set up so then your opponent can't activate any spell cards. Unless they're playing Spellcaster deck too, then it kind of sucks. But if they're not, it's a good way to stop them from activating, because the most important thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! I know not much too many people play traps, even though some people do play traps like Elledge and Labyrinth, but majority, the big cards, well, besides the monsters, is spell cards. That gets them there. So this card completely locks them out. Like if you go against a Sky Striker deck, this card alone just stops them, because their whole deck relies on spell cards. So any deck that relies on their spell cards a lot, except of course, like I said, except trap decks like Elledge and Labyrinth, they don't really care. This will definitely hurt them. But yeah, good card. It's pretty much our floodgate for any spellcaster type deck. Next up, we play 2 Pod Desires, because of course we play a lot of doubles, and we definitely want to see them, like Secret Village, or any of our combo pieces that we need to. And of course, we play 2 Lure, because, well, we do have a lot of darks, so, and also, I forgot to mention, Time Star Magician can also be used as fodder for Lure Darkness too. Draw more cards, get cards that we need. Next up, we have Pendulum Treasure. This is a card I'm actually starting to like using a lot. it's a good card to get a card to your extra deck. So let's say I have my Scales, I have Servant, and I have Master, but I would like to add a little more spice to it. I can activate this, get counters, and I can send Jackal King, so then when I Pendulum Summon, I have Jackal King. Pretty much it's a way to search pendulum monsters that you don't have, but you can add it to your extra deck. Or like Reflection, you can add Master to your deck, get 3 counters on the board, and then activate Reflection's effect. Boom, get Master straight out from your extra deck. So it's a good search card. It's an interesting card. I've been teching in my other pendulum decks, and it's an interesting card that it's pretty much a search card in a way. Of course, since we play Endymions, we do play one of their field spell. Pretty much this card gets counters on it, and then if you need to activate abilities of your spell counter cards, you can take them from here. Know that this card actually has ability where you can take out spell counters and protect your cards from being destroyed that have spell counters on it. Super good card. And then, of course, we play a 1 Terraform because we do play field spells. So we play, mainly you want to, if you need to activate Citadel, you can, but mainly this is to use Secret Village, so then you can lock out your opponent from using spells. Of course, we play a 1 Regeki, who doesn't want to blow up your opponent's field, plus it's a spell, so it gets a counter, and it clears the board, so then you can go for OTK, or just to slow down your opponent as much as you can. Then we do play 1 Call to Buy. It is a spell, and of course your opponent's probably going to have hand traps that can probably try to stop you, like Ash Blossom. So this is a good card to stop Ash Blossom from you searching your cards that you need to search. And it's a spell, so if you already have cards on the field, it's a good way to build up counters. Then Upstart, of course, it's another spell, plus it lets you draw a card. So not bad for drawing cards that you need and getting counters. And then of course for those pesky Labyrinth and Eldritch decks, you got Harpy's Feather Duster, so you can just clear up back row and get spell counters. Of course, we only play 2 traps. That's it. Well, pendulums don't normally play too much traps, but since this recently got impacted by the list, now we can play 3 of them. I play 2 Metaverse, so then we can automatically, so we don't have a way to get to the village, but we do have spellcasters on the battlefield. Just set this, wait for your opponent's turn, flip them over, and now they can't use spell cards. Pretty much this is what it's used for. So it's pretty much like we have 3 terraformings, even though we only have 1. Alright, so that's the main deck. Next up, we're going to go into the extra deck. So we have 1 Fusion, Odd Eyes Vortex. The reason why I put this, because you guys probably don't understand why this isn't here, because we have no Odd Eyes monster, is because we can make a Odd Eyes level 7, rank 7 monster, and the whole thing with it is that once you go into it, you link it off, and then it activates ability, and then you can just spec him out for free. So pretty much it's like an Argopane, or LP if you remember those Guard Dragon type era. But yes, pretty much we just have a way to get him out for free, and since we are playing Pendulums, he is a good card, to negate stuff, because if you have Pendulums, you can add it back to your deck and negate something. And then we play a good old-fashioned card. You guys probably remember this card from Dragon Ruler format. Since we do have 7s, number 11, Big Eye. So pretty much what you do with this card is attach it, and then you can take one of your opponent's monsters, pretty much. Pretty much you just take it. So sometimes it might work, it might not, but still, it's a fun card. Good old classic. And then, of course, the card I was telling you about that you Odd Eyes Absolute. Since we do play 7s, go into him, just link him off, and then you can get out Odd Eyes Vortex for free, pretty much. And then, of course, we play Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Good card. Pretty much every time if he has materials, and every time your opponent activates a card, let's see. Yep. Each time your opponent activates a card or effect, infect fire damage. So this is pretty much like Mass Dragon, but Exceed version. So this is the original Tax Dragon, but as long as these materials, so every time your opponent does, they take 500 points of damage every time they activate effect, as long as this card has materials on it. Good card. Really loved it when they came out first. And of course, we play 1 rank 6, and this course requires spellcasters. Pretty much what this does is that whenever your opponent activates a spell or trap, you can just detach one material and negate it. So it's a negation. We do have level 6. Like we have Chronograph Sorcerer, we have, of course, Jackal King. So we can go into this if we want to, and we can negate stuff. Next up, we have Access Code Talker, because we do play a lot of links. Plus, we can Pendulum Summon, so it's not that hard to get, 4 monsters on the battlefield to link summon. So, good card. I definitely want another reprint. Hopefully, maybe. That might be coming soon. You guys know what I'm talking about. Then we play another Bulbasaur Dragon. It's pretty much the cheaper version of Access Code Talker, but still a really good card for ending games and just becoming a big boy and just running things over. I love this card. Sadly, in Regional in 2019, it was used against me. My own card. 2 of them. Next up, we play Celine. Beautiful card from the new Crystal Revenge set. Super happy. If you guys saw, I actually ordered this one. But yeah, Celine, because, well, she is a Endymion, she gets spell counters, and she can freely spec one out from your hand. So if you need to extend, like, go into Link 4, you can get one extra, and then, you know, link it off and go into, like, Access Code, Borosword Dragon. Or, if you want, you can get another body on the board and then go into a Exceed Summon. Normally I use her with Harmonized the Magician to get out a Boros Salvage Dragon. There you go. Okay, next up we have Buster, Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. Of course, this card, since we do play a lot of 7s, we can actually link into this, and then he just becomes a beat stick, pretty much. So pretty much this card will link some of 7 higher monsters as material your opponent can target with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. When this card, pretty much it becomes, you know, hard to kill, pretty much. Not too hard to kill. Not like Dragoon, but hard to kill, pretty much. And we do play a lot of level 7 monsters. Next up, we play Nightmare Unicorn. Of course, good card. If you need to bounce something immediately, you can just go into this and bounce it away. Pretty much what it does. Next up, of course, we play Beyond the Pendulum. Of course, we're playing Pendulum deck. We wouldn't. I mean, this is our only, sadly, Electromite. But this card's pretty good, as long as you know how to use it correctly, because there's sometimes it can backfire on you. You have to be super careful with this. Pretty much just as a way, like, if you get Time Star, then you use your normal summon, link this, get your, let's say you're missing a high skill, then you can get Master, set the Pendulum scales, Pendulum Summon, and then, of course, you know, you can do your things because you Pendulum Summon. But, if you do this after you Pendulum Summon, all your effects on the field will be negated. So, you gotta be super careful with this. But it is a good card if you are missing stuff. So if you can get out the cards you need, like Time Star or Normal Summon of some sort, this is definitely a good card. But you have to be careful with it. Of course, we play Daybreaker, the Magical Warrior, because it's a Endymion card, and it gets spell counters, and it's a link too, so, you know, easy to get out. But pretty much because it gets spell counters, since, you know, we play spell counters. Next up, Nightmare Phoenix, of course, back row, just in case if you need to. And, of course, if it's co-link, I think you can draw a card. And since we play Phoenix, of course, we play Cerberus because, well, he can destroy special summon monsters. It's kind of cool. So we got 2 removal. And then last card, I actually read this and I remember people talking about it. I decided to run it. We play Barricade Blocker. The main reason we play this is to protect our field spell. Pretty much this is, this card's Link Zone. Yeah, oh wait. See, once per turn, once per turn, face-up spells you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Pretty much that line right there. Also, I think it can search field spells too. See, you can discard during the end phase of this turn, add one continuous or field spell from your graveyard to your hand. Well, it lets us, you know, recycle. So if they popped our spell, we can recycle. But mainly I use this just to protect our spellcaster village from being destroyed. So it's a good card. I know people used to use this with Mystic Mind, but we're using it to protect our no spells are fun allowed for our opponent, of course. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I am planning to do a test hand video. I don't know why I'm going to do that. Oh, actually, there you go. That's a little more better. But yeah, I don't know where I'm going to do the test hand video, so stay on the lookout for that. Also, I am planning to do, I hope, maybe, I'm not for sure. If not, we probably do it around my birthday. My birthday is in January, so that's soon. Maybe we might do a birthday opening. But also, I still want to kind of do a Christmas opening, but we'll see on that. But if you guys are interested in that, definitely subscribe. It will definitely help me out. I definitely appreciate you guys who are subscribing, who watch my content, who actually enjoy my content. Makes me really happy that I'm, you know, doing a good job for you guys. Hopefully, I can do more stuff later in the future. I am planning to upgrade my gear. I want to do more videos, maybe streaming again once that come back on Master Duel, maybe. Or who knows, we might do Ideo Pro or just chill streams. I'm not for sure on that yet, but I'll figure it out later in the future. But I am definitely appreciative of you guys. And also, I don't know if you guys know, but I do sell on TCG Player. And of course, the playmat I have is my Meta Comics. I sell on Mercari too, so I sell like pop figures, manga, Like I said, I also sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic cards, Pokemon cards, pop figures, bags, whatever you can think of, Star Wars stuff if you're interested in Star Wars. So if you guys check that out, I think there's a link in the description down below. I definitely appreciate it. And of course, with TCG Player, I do sell cards there too. So if you want to check out my TCG Player link, I think I have in the description below. If you buy anything, it'll go straight into the channel. I would definitely appreciate you guys. And also, I forgot to mention too, is that if you want to be notified whenever I do these deck profiles, the dual videos, maybe streaming, make sure you click the bell icon so be notified straight away. So once again, I hope you guys like this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like the video too. Liking does help. And also click the bell icon if you want to see my future content that I'm hoping that I can produce for you guys, for your guys' enjoyment. Anyways, guys, once again, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.